Welcome to the deep dive. Today, we're going deep on AI in financial services.
Oh, okay.
You've given us a ton of material, reports, articles, even some internal memos, and it's kind of amazing. AI is everywhere.
Yeah.
We're talking algorithms analyzing mountains of contracts in seconds, chatbots handling millions of customer requests, even AI catching fraudsters.
Yeah.
As it's happening.
It truly is fascinating how quickly AI is moving from a niche technology to a core part of financial institutions.
Yeah, it's not just buzz anymore.
Yeah.
One report I saw claims 100% of financial services leaders, they plan to use generative AI.
Wow.
It's basically like ChatGPT, but trained on financial data.
Right.
So generating reports, summaries, maybe even code, but specific to financial tasks.
That's exactly right. And imagine the implications for that.
Yeah.
It's not just about replacing human tasks. It's about doing things that we couldn't even dream of before.
And the big banks are backing this up with serious cash. JPMorgan Chase alone has a tech budget nearing $10 billion.
Wow.
That's double the industry average.
It's incredible.
So are they just feeling the heat from all these fintech startups that are popping up?
I think it's a combination of factors.
Okay.
Fintechs are definitely pushing the envelope with their AI-powered products and services, and traditional banks have to adapt or they risk losing customers.
Yeah.
But they also see the immense potential to improve their own operations. So it really is a race to innovate and capture the future of finance.
So it's not just robots taking over Wall Street.
No.
It's more nuanced than that.
Right.
But what's AI actually doing within finance?
Well, let's start with something that everyone deals with: customer service.
Okay.
AI-powered chatbots are now handling a huge chunk of customer interactions.
Yeah.
Bank of America's Erica, for example, has handled over 2 billion client interactions since 2018.
Wow.
Providing personalized insights over 1 billion times.
That's crazy.
So that's not just answering basic questions. That's providing tailored financial advice.
I have to admit, the idea of getting financial advice in real time without waiting on hold forever is pretty appealing.
Exactly. And for banks, it means huge cost savings.
Yeah.
But AI's impact goes way beyond customer service. It's revolutionizing how banks process mountains of documents and legal contracts.
Okay, so no more drowning in paperwork.
Right.
Now that's a revolution I can get behind.
JPMorgan Chase's Koin platform is a great example.
Okay.
It uses AI to analyze legal documents, and it's lightning fast.
Wow.
Koin can analyze over 12,000 contracts in seconds work that used to take lawyers 360,000 hours to complete.
That's wild.
So it's not just saving time and money, it's about accuracy and compliance. AI can identify key terms, spot anomalies, and ensure everything's by the book, reducing errors and speeding up processes.
That's incredible. It's like having an army of robot lawyers, but without the coffee breaks.
It really is. It's incredibly powerful technology, but let's talk about something even more impactful.
Yeah.
Risk management and security.
Okay, yeah, that's the big one. AI's got to be playing a huge role there.
Absolutely. This is where AI's impact is arguably the most significant.
Okay.
AI algorithms can now detect fraud in real time, something we couldn't do before.
Right.
Visa, for example, uses AI to identify and block fraudulent transactions.
Okay.
Their system blocked a staggering $40 billion worth of fraudulent transactions in a single year.
Wow.
That's not just stopping individual fraudsters. It's protecting the entire financial system.
40 billion. That's a big number.
Yeah.
It makes you wonder, with AI getting so good at catching fraud after it happens, is it also helping banks make better decisions about who to lend to in the first place?
You're exactly right. By analyzing vast amounts of data, including transaction history and even things like social media activity.
Wow.
AI can identify patterns and predict defaults with incredible accuracy.
Real.
It's a level of insight that traditional methods simply couldn't match.
So AI could help people get access to credit who might have been denied before.
Right.
That's a pretty powerful potential benefit.
It is, but it's important to remember that AI is only as good as the data it learns from.
Yeah.
There's always the possibility of biases creeping in, and that's something we need to be vigilant about.
That's a good point, and we'll definitely dive into those ethical considerations a little bit later on.
Yeah.
But first, I'm dying to know what's happening with AI in the high-stakes world of investment and trading. Are robots really taking over Wall Street?
Well, maybe not taking over completely, but definitely changing the game.
Okay.
Goldman Sachs, for example, once had 600 equity traders.
Wow.
In 2017, they were down to just 2.
What?
AI trading programs capable of analyzing mountains of data and executing trades in milliseconds have reshaped the landscape.
Wow, from 600 to 2. That's a pretty dramatic shift.
It is.
Is it all about speed and efficiency?
That's definitely part of it.
Okay.
But it's also about adapting to the markets.
Uh,
These AI systems aren't static. They learn from every trade, constantly refining their strategies. That kind of dynamic optimization is something human traders simply can't replicate.
it sounds like this is turning finance into a high-tech arms race.
Yeah,
Like, who has the fastest algorithms wins, right?
there's definitely an element of that, but it's not just about speed.
Okay.
It's about who can use AI to create the most innovative products and services.
Yeah.
The banks that successfully integrate AI into their core operations while being mindful of its limitations are the ones who will ultimately thrive.
So all this AI innovation, what does it mean for the average person? How will AI change our experience with banks and financial services?
That's a great question, and that's where things get really interesting.
Yep.
Imagine a world where AI chatbots handle most of your basic banking needs. Instantly personalized financial advice is available at your fingertips, and your investments are managed by algorithms that can react to market changes in a fraction of a second. That's the kind of future AI is making possible.
Yeah, it's definitely a lot to wrap your head around. But before we dive into all that, let's take a step back and look at the bigger picture. What are some of the key benefits that AI is bringing to the financial services industry?
There are so many. But let's start with the obvious one, cost reduction and increased efficiency.
Okay.
By automating tasks and streamlining processes, AI can dramatically lower operating costs for financial institutions.
And that should translate into lower fees and better rates for customers, right?
Potentially,
Yeah.
yes. But it's important to remember that AI is a tool.
Yeah.
And like any tool, it can be used for good or bad.
Yeah.
Ultimately, it all depends on how it's implemented and governed.
Okay, that makes sense. So efficiency is one benefit. What about accuracy and risk management?
Yeah.
I imagine AI has a huge role to play there.
It absolutely does.
Okay.
AI algorithms are incredibly good at detecting patterns and anomalies in data.
Yeah.
This makes them incredibly valuable for detecting fraud, assessing credit risk, and managing market risk.
So AI can essentially help banks make better decisions and avoid costly mistakes.
Precisely, it's about using data to make more informed choices and mitigate risks more effectively.
That all sounds great from a financial institution's perspective. But can AI really improve the customer experience?
Absolutely. AI-powered personalization allows banks to tailor their products and services to individual customer needs.
Okay.
Think about it, 24/7 access to AI chatbots that can instantly answer your questions and resolve issues.
Yeah.
Product recommendations that actually align with your financial goals.
Uh-huh.
And proactive alerts that help you manage your money more effectively.
Yeah, that sounds pretty futuristic.
It is, but it's becoming increasingly commonplace.
Yeah.
Banks are realizing that AI can help them differentiate themselves and build stronger customer relationships. It's not just about cutting costs and reducing risk, it's about creating a better overall experience.
Yeah. Okay, so we've covered a lot of ground here. We've seen how AI is being used in everything from customer service to risk management to investment strategies, and we've discussed the potential benefits from increased efficiency to enhanced customer experiences. But now it's time to address the elephant in the room,
Yeah.
the challenges that come with integrating AI into such a complex and sensitive industry like finance.
You're right, it's not all sunshine and roses.
Right.
There are some significant challenges that need to be addressed, and it's crucial to acknowledge that AI is not a silver bullet.
All right, let's dive into those challenges.
Okay. One of the biggest challenges is ensuring that AI systems are implemented responsibly and ethically.
That makes sense. We've talked about the potential for bias creeping into AI algorithms, especially when dealing with sensitive financial data. How can banks navigate this challenge and make sure their AI systems are fair and impartial?
It's a complex issue, but there are a few key strategies. First, transparency is crucial. Banks need to be able to clearly explain how their AI systems are making decisions, especially when those decisions have a direct impact on customers.
So it's not just about building a black box that spits out answers. It's about making the decision-making process understandable, even if the underlying technology is complex.
Exactly. And that ties into another important strategy, rigorous testing and validation.
Okay.
Before deploying any AI system, banks need to subject it to extensive testing, using diverse data sets to ensure it's making fair and accurate decisions across the board.
That makes sense, like double-checking your work, but on a much more sophisticated level.
Right, and it's not just about the technology itself. It's also about the people who are developing and implementing these systems.
Yeah.
Banks need to invest in training and education to make sure their employees understand the ethical implications of AI and how to mitigate potential biases.
So it's a holistic approach, a combination of technology processes and human oversight to make sure AI is used responsibly.
Exactly. It's not just a technology problem, it's a business problem,
Yeah.
and it needs to be addressed at every level of the organization.
That makes a lot of sense. Speaking of organizations, I'm curious to hear more about how some of the major financial institutions are tackling these challenges and putting AI into practice. Earlier, we talked about JPMorgan Chase and their contract analysis platform. What are some other ways they're using AI?
Well, they've also been pioneers in using AI for fraud detection and prevention.
Okay.
They've implemented sophisticated machine learning algorithms that analyze real-time transaction data to identify and flag suspicious activity.
That sounds like it would require massive amounts of data and serious computing power.
It absolutely does, but the results have been impressive.
Okay.
JP Morgan has reported significant reductions in fraudulent transactions and false positive alerts, which frees up their analysts to focus on genuine threats.
So AI isn't just automating tasks, it's actually improving the effectiveness of their security operations.
Right, and it's not just about catching fraudsters, it's about protecting customers and building trust. Yeah. By using AI to proactively prevent fraud, banks can create a safer and more secure environment for everyone.
That's a win for everyone involved. Now, what about Goldman Sachs? I know they've been heavily investing in AI, especially in their trading operations. What's their approach?
Goldman Sachs is interesting because they've been very open about their use of AI and how it's transforming their business. They've been using AI-powered trading algorithms for years now,
Right.
and they've seen significant improvements in speed efficiency and even profitability.
We talked earlier about how they've replaced hundreds of human traders with algorithms.
Yeah.
That's a pretty radical shift. How has that played out?
It's been a gradual transition, and it's important to note that they haven't completely eliminated human traders.
Right.
They still have a team of experts who oversee the algorithms and make strategic decisions.
It's more about augmenting human capabilities than replacing humans entirely.
Exactly. The AI algorithms handle the high-volume, data-intensive tasks, while the human traders focus on the big-picture strategy and risk management.
That makes sense. It's like a partnership between humans and machines, each playing to their strengths. Now, I know we've talked a lot about big banks, but how are smaller financial institutions like regional banks or credit unions using AI? Do they have the resources to compete in this AI arms race?
That's a great question, and it's something a lot of people are worried about.
Yeah.
The good news is that AI is becoming increasingly accessible even for smaller institutions.
Okay.
Cloud-based AI platforms and services are making it easier and more affordable to implement AI solutions without having to build everything from scratch.
So they don't necessarily need massive in-house tech teams to get started with AI.
Exactly. They can leverage the expertise and infrastructure of third-party providers to get up and running quickly and efficiently.
That levels the playing field somewhat and opens up opportunities for innovation across the entire industry.
Absolutely, and we're seeing some really exciting examples of smaller banks and credit unions using AI to personalize their services, improve their risk management, and even create new products and offerings.
That's great to hear. It's important that the benefits of AI are shared across the entire financial ecosystem, not just concentrated among the giants.
I completely agree.
Now, we've talked a lot about the technical side of things, but I'm curious about the human side. How are all these advancements in AI impacting the people who work in finance? Are their jobs at risk?
It's a question that's on a lot of people's minds, and it's understandable to be concerned.
Yeah.
The reality is that AI is going to automate some jobs, especially those that involve repetitive tasks or data processing.
So some jobs will inevitably be displaced. But what about the bigger picture? Will AI ultimately create more jobs than it destroys?
That's the hope, and there's reason to be optimistic.
Okay.
AI is also creating new opportunities, especially in areas like data science, AI development, and cybersecurity.
So it's not just about replacing jobs. It's about transforming the workforce and creating new roles that didn't even exist before.
Exactly. And even for existing roles, AI is changing the nature of the work. Instead of spending all their time on routine tasks, financial professionals can now leverage AI to focus on more strategic and creative aspects of their jobs.
It's like AI is taking care of the busy work so humans can focus on the things that require uniquely human skills, like critical thinking, problem solving, and relationship building.
I like that analogy. It's about collaboration, not replacement.
So what does this all mean for the average person? How will AI impact our day-to-day interactions with the financial world?
That's where things get really interesting. Imagine a world where you can open a bank account, apply for a loan, or even manage your investments entirely through a personalized AI assistant that understands your needs and preferences.
That sounds pretty futuristic and maybe a little bit intimidating,
It might seem that way now, but I think we'll quickly adapt.
right?
Think about how comfortable we become with things like online banking and mobile payments.
Yeah.
AI is just the next step in that evolution.
So instead of fearing AI, we should embrace its potential to simplify our financial lives and make things easier.
Exactly. AI can help us make better financial decisions, manage our money more effectively, and even protect ourselves from fraud.
Okay, so we've covered a lot of ground here. The challenges, the opportunities, the impact on jobs, and the future banking. But before we wrap up, I want to circle back to something we touched on earlier, the importance of ethics and responsible AI development.
Absolutely. That's a conversation we need to keep having as AI becomes more deeply integrated into our lives. It's not enough to simply talk about the potential benefits. We need to be mindful of the potential risks and take steps to mitigate them.
So what are some of the key things we need to be thinking about as we navigate this uncharted territory of AI in finance?
Yeah.
It's been pretty amazing exploring this world of AI and financial services. You know, we've seen how it's being used to combat fraud, personalized banking, even reshape those trading floors.
That has been.
But before we wrap up, I think it's important to talk about the big picture, the potential impact of AI on society as a whole.
I completely agree. It's easy to get caught up in the technical details and the specific and lose sight of the broader societal implications.
Yeah.
AI has the potential to fundamentally change the way we interact with money,
Right.
manage our finances, and even think about wealth and prosperity.
It's a huge thought. It makes you wonder, with all this talk about AI-driven efficiency and personalization,
Hmm.
will it lead to greater financial inclusion, or could it actually exacerbate existing inequalities?
That's the million-dollar question, and there's no easy answer.
Yeah.
On the one hand, AI has the potential to democratize access to financial services.
Okay.
Think about AI-powered financial literacy tools that could help people make better financial decisions regardless of their background or income
Yeah.
level.
Yeah.
Or imagine AI-driven micro-lending platforms that could provide access to credit for underserved communities.
That's a really hopeful vision, it sounds like. AI could be a powerful tool for empowering individuals and closing the wealth gap.
It absolutely could, but there's also the flip side to consider. If AI is primarily used to optimize profits for financial institutions, it could actually widen the gap between the haves and have-nots.
Yeah.
Imagine a scenario where AI-powered systems make it even easier for high-net-worth individuals to access exclusive investment opportunities, while those who are already struggling financially are left behind.
That's a sobering thought. It highlights the importance of responsible AI development and making sure these technologies are used to benefit everyone, not just a select few.
Exactly. And we need to be mindful of the potential for unintended consequences and work to create a future where AI is used as a force for good, not just for profit.
So it's not just about building the best AI, it's about building the right AI.
I couldn't have said it better myself.
An AI that serves humanity and creates a more equitable and prosperous future for all. Well, I think we've covered just about everything. Any final thoughts before we wrap things up?
Just the future of AI in finance is filled with possibilities both exciting and daunting. It's up to all of us to engage in this conversation, to ask tough questions, and to demand that these technologies are developed and deployed ethically and responsibly.
Yeah.
We have a chance to shape the future of finance, and it's a responsibility we shouldn't take lightly.
That's a powerful message to end on. Thank you so much for sharing your expertise with us today. It's been an incredibly insightful conversation.
The pleasure was all mine.
And to our listeners, thanks for joining us on this deep dive into the world of AI in financial services. We hope you've learned something new and that you'll continue to explore this fascinating and rapidly evolving landscape. Until next time, keep diving.